love you too. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is a kind of like how-to flawless face, more specifically on foundation and concealers. Not am I only doing my face and what I do to get a flawless face, but I'm also going over types of foundation, concealers, skin types that will work best for certain things so you could get your flawless face, because I have different skin and I have different preference for products. Is because of it's my skin. So something that may work for me may not necessarily work for you. So I'm just also kind of going over different things like color correcting and different types of foundations and skin types that would benefit from certain type of products. But I hope that you find this video helpful in your own routine, or if you're just getting started, how to apply, different brushes to apply, just so you can get like a very quick gist of everything. And I guess that's it. And this is just gonna be a talk through tutorial in which I'm talking, so this video might be a little longer. But always, if there's anyone out there watching, thank you so much for watching. And if you are watching, please let me know by liking, comment, and subscribing. Thank you guys so much, guys. Okay, so we're gonna get started with this video, and it's just gonna pretty much be a like how to get a flawless face, mostly focusing on foundation and concealer and how to do that. So I pushed my hair back. I have my little kitty headbands, as always. So the first thing you always want to do is prime the face. Depending on what kind of skin you have, you want to choose your primer based on that. So there is luminous primer, pore filler primer, color correction primer, and things like that. Or like kind of matted primer, although the primer is probably not matted, but when you put the foundation on, it'll become matted. So here in my hand I have the NYX pore filler, and this is supposed to minimize the appearance of enlarged pores. I have really large pores, so your pores are actually genetic. So if you look at your parents, they have large pores, and that's why you have large pores. So people are just born with beautiful skin. So I'm just using my fingers to rub that in. I don't ever see anyone using a brush to put on primer. I think that the texture of your fingers on your skin is kind of like that, so it'll be able to fill it in more, and the warmth of your fingers kind of just, you know, puts it in there. Then I'm gonna actually spray my face NYX First Base primer spray. So I'm gonna put that all around my face. Primer, depending on what primer you use, you want to focus it more on certain spots. So the pore filler, I focus more right here. This is where I have my enlarged pores. If, for example, you suffer from redness and you choose a green color correcting primer, then you want to focus the primer wherever it's red. Or if you're using luminous primer, then you want to focus the primer more anywhere where your skin usually dries out. But this, I think it's overall great, so I'm just spraying it. I don't feel like it's heavy primer, so it's a light spray. So always prime your face first before starting. So we're gonna go into foundations. So I really like to use the 24-hour Revlon, and this is a mousse foundation. So foundation has mousse, there is liquid. So this L'Oreal True Match is liquid, and so is this True Match Lumi. So I'm not using this, but I am going to show this as an example. So anything that says luminous is really great for dry skin, because it's going to help you help you give that glow to your skin rather than looking almost scaly. Sometimes when you put certain foundation, it can end up scaly and patchy. So you want to stick to a luminous foundation if you have that type of skin. I know the regular True Match is a little bit more matte finish, so if you have oily skin, this is really great for oily skin. And then there's also powder foundation. I don't own powder foundation because most makeup artists don't use powder foundation, and for that reason, it's because it's very lightweight and you don't get that thicker airbrush face with powder foundation. So powder foundation's more for people who are not very much of makeup enthusiasts. They'll just like brush a little powder to even the skin tone and run out the door. So I personally don't own that. Mousse foundation tends to be very thick, which I like, especially when it's days where I am going out for a long time. This actually does last me all day. Even I remember going to DC once long ago with my parents on a family trip, and I had wore this foundation and it stuck onto me all day, which was absolutely like stunning, even after the sweat, because it was very hot that day. And then type of foundation brushes, I am going to show you a few here. This is like a flat brush. So this is a like square rectangle flat brush. They have the ones that are a little round. A buffer brush. So buffer brushes are really great for blending, and I feel that these flat foundations is better for application. And then at one point it was a craze, these oval brushes that are like this. And I love this more so to blend. It's almost like a buffer brush. And this one is from Miska Beauty. And if you're looking to buy any sort of makeup brushes, you can go on to Miska Beauty and use my code, which I will leave in the bottom. That would give you 20% off your entire order, which is really great. And it's free shipping, 50 and out. So I really love this brush, and I've been using it to blend. So I'm gonna go with the flat brush, and especially when it comes to mousse, I think the flat brush is better because you can just dip it and scoop. So there we go. It's almost like painting your face with a flat brush. And I feel like if you use a flat brush, especially if the flat brush is not clean and it has residue over from last time you used it with the foundation, it can get very cakey, and you can see that cake. Not in a good way. I know we like to cake our face, but we don't want it to look cakey or feel cakey. So obviously you're going to apply this all over the face. And if you're using this type of application, don't worry about like it being a little patchy, because you are going to blend that. And you always want to bring it down to your neck and then just blend it with your neck. So and it doesn't look like it's two-tone. And with choosing foundations, you always want to match to your neck. That would be the best way. I know sometimes on camera, a lot of us girls look like our foundation's lighter, and that's because you need to remember we have a whole bunch of light hitting us. So it's gonna obviously, what's the word? Flush us out and make us look a little pale on our face, because that's where the light is really hitting. Now I'm just gonna blend with this. And a lot of foundations tend to be medium to full coverage. And then buildable. So right now I'm just building more around my cheeks. And then to always create kind of like an airbrush look and everything to be absolutely flawless, you want to go in with a beauty sponge. This one's called Lemon Drop. This is also by Miss Beauty. So you always want to wet the makeup sponge because then it's going to pick up excess product and then also blend. And after putting the foundation, I see that I still had a little bit of redness. So I am going to go over color correcting. So color correcting is a type of like conceal. Conceal, don't feel. So green, for example, is really great for redness. And yellow is great for dark circles as well because that brightens. And then orange is also really great if you have like a yellow skin that's looking a little sallow. You will be using like purple. But I think the top two main things that people do is kind of to hide redness or cover up the redness from either like acne or pimples. And I'm just gonna again put foundation. I just smack that over and then I'm just patting it over because I don't want to necessarily move that green into other places. So I'm just patting the foundation to blend it first. And then make it blend. I know certain people like to put foundation over their lips. I'm just gonna do that now. So you can create a base for their lipstick. And then you also get the lines around your lips. Always make sure to blend. Beauty sponges are some of the best. And don't also be afraid to use your fingers. The warmth of your fingers and the texture of your fingers can sometimes be better to blend out certain things. Okay, now we're gonna go on to concealer. So if you're actually trying to conceal something, you want to use the same as your skin color. So if I had a pimple right here, and it was red, I want to use a green, then use foundation or concealer of the color of my skin. Because concealer is more not for the whole face and very targeted towards something. But a lot of times concealers are also used to bring out more like cream highlights, kind of things like that, to brighten certain areas. So if you're trying to brighten a certain area with concealers, you want to go about 2 shades lighter than you normally would. And you want to do it right under the eye because that's where it's supposed to be. And you want to do it more like a triangle. And then most people just go like this in a triangle and then have their little stuff stuff gets shorter. You don't want to do this. You don't just want to do that. You might want to just do that if you're trying to conceal the dark circle, but then you want to go in and do this. No, yes, no, yes. And right here I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This is about $3 and this is huge among a lot of the artists and enthusiasts about makeup, because it's $3 and it's really cheap and it's absolutely fabulous. Other points that I may want to conceal and bring more to a pop is this area right here. So you want to do this. To get that Cupid's bow, you want to focus right here in the middle of the chin. You want to do it on the bridge of your nose. So you want to bring here. Depending what is the shape of your nose, it's gonna depend how big you want the area on your nose to conceal. So if you have a very wide nose and you're trying to make it smaller, you just want to conceal the center and just focus on that. If you have a very narrow nose and it's a little too narrow and you kind of want to widen it, you're going to want to put more concealer on the area, like over here and over there. And then doing Wi-Fi signals, and then above. So it's gonna look like this. I think blending out concealer with a beauty sponge is a must. I wouldn't use anything else. If you want, you can use like the overbrush that I showed. Miska Beauty has the one for foundation and one for concealer. That's a little bit smaller, but the same shape, but a little smaller, so you can get into the creasing crevices, especially right here. But I personally always love using a beauty sponge. Now, I know there's also things as concealer brushes, and you can blend it out a little bit with that, just to move the product around. Again, just move some product around. Or get close to wing liner if you have to. And then again, always use a beauty sponge. I know that most popular beauty sponge is the Beauty Blender, and it is really good, but I have to say the Lemon Drop is really, really good. So I've been into that lately and been using that. And the reason why I also like this, because the flat surface is really great for foundation. So when you're using a beauty sponge, you want to use this to blend out foundation, and then the pointy part, because it goes right into there, to blend out concealer and such. Okay, so you always want to set everything. So I am going to go in with this big brush and a powder by MAC, and I'm only going to set the areas where I didn't really conceal, like right there. And don't worry about not setting the conceal areas, because we're going to do that now. First, you might want to go in with some translucent powder, which looks, if I can open it, which looks white like this, but I promise you it's not white. It's not gonna make you look white. And just set that right under the eye. And then again, going about 2 shades lighter, you want to set that concealer that you put to, again, bring more of a pop, to bring out more in your face. You can use a brush. This is a flat brush by Real Techniques. And then you could go that and do that. Or you can take that beauty sponge that you had and dip it again, and then that's a lot of product, but it's gonna be able to pack more on. And I think it's a better way to bake and then blend out with a brush. And considering this is a highlighting contour palette, I am going to go in and I am going to start contouring. I will maybe post the how-to video on how to contour. Sure, in that video it might be a little overlapping with this, but I'm gonna just start doing my thing now.